time for round 3 of TEPCOTT Season 5. This round was raced with the Albany Alpha, a car that I'm not that familiar with, so I really didn't have any expectations for this going my way. Now this race still was early in the season with people signing up, and this race was no different. There were a significant speed difference between the guys up front and the rest of the pack. Now my aim for the race was the same as for the previous rounds, that is to keep my starting position, and if I managed to do that, I was happy with my result. Luckily I had found few guys who were about at the same pace with me, so at least I knew that I had someone to race with in this race. The first lap was surprisingly clean. You can really see those who are pulling away right from the start. The field seems to be spreading out pretty well. Now of course there were guys who started way at the back, since they signed up to the season later than when the season had already started. So they had to spend the first few laps making their way through the pack and find their actual pace. They were able to pass the slower guys. And there you can see on the mini-map there's a separation coming on with like the leader pack and the mid pack. Some stragglers left behind. Now I know that I won't be able to keep up with this mid-pack, but as long as I can keep on tailing them, it's giving me some possibility of racing for some kind of position. And here we go for lap number 2, which had the first bigger crashes when the middle pack seemed to have some trouble fitting through these corners. Coming over this crest, I knew I had to slow down. Still managed to catch one little crash myself. But I'm still surprised how well I managed to navigate through that crashing bit. And from here onwards it was pretty stable. I managed to take few places when people were taking their bits, so I decided to take mine on lap 12. As nothing really was happening, I was losing speed to the people up in front of me, and the people behind me were slowly starting to catch it. And as per usual for TEPCOTT, you waited for 10 seconds, waited for the pit watcher to shoot your car, and then you can go. Now after my pit I was slowly catching a few cars ahead of me. I was hoping that I would actually be able to race with them as well. And it seemed like Cloden had similar pace to me, as well as Honix. Although I was still missing out some boosts. Like you can see there, Cloden found some extra speed to overtake me. This seemed to be pretty much the pace we were all going, with a few faster guys coming from behind, like Hoxie there. And I knew that if I can keep my my racing clean. And there were some places that I probably could have if people started crashing or something. But I knew that I didn't really have that speed to keep up. This part of the track was something that seemed to prove a problem to me. Like there, I went over that little bump and the car oversteered. I had trouble keeping it in control. Now we jump forward again. Still having like a three-way race with Honix and Cloden, with one more car adding themselves into the race. Most likely we overtook them while they were taking a pit or something. Then there was a small chance for me to overtake when some slight crashing was happening, but I just couldn't take that place. But I knew that since the fighting was still going on the last lap, I probably can get myself one more place if a bigger crash happens. Because I most definitely was just struggling to keep up. But I knew that anything happens, I can probably take that one place. When we came to the last corner, that is exactly what happened. It was a small crash, and I managed to take one extra place, and not losing that much from taking a place from Hustle. But overall this turned out to be pretty boring and uneventful race for me.